Ever since the DJI Osmo Pocket camera with gimbal came out not too long ago, a big question has been, when do we get to use an external microphone? Now, I have to first of all say, when these things first came out, there were some audio problems on some of the clips on the web, and I was really concerned. But they did a firmware update, and my experience so far has been that the built-in mic works pretty good. I'm actually using it on this segment of the video right here. But really, having that external microphone, well, that's a whole different ball game. Could allow you to use wireless microphones, mics with long cords, lavalier mics, whatever you seek out. The ubiquitous Rode microphones. So, DJI, I don't think as of December 30th, when I'm recording this, has not announced a release date for some sort of external headphone adapter, but they've alluded to one or talked about it. So people look around and go, well, hey, it's got that USB port on the bottom. What is that, a USB-C, I think it is? And they have adapters like this that have a female 3.5 millimeter stereo jack at one end and USB at the other. It's supposed to be some sort of little chip in here, analog to digital. And the question is, can you plug one of these into the USB port on your Osmo Pocket and get audio through it? And the answer, I'm going to say unequivocally, at this point, no, you're not going to get a audio signal going into that camera like this. Maybe when they do some sort of future upgrade of the firmware, there might be something going on. But as it stands right now, I don't think it's possible. Now, there is somebody down in Australia who's been posting on some Osmo Pocket forums and saying, oh, I got this one with a certain chip in it, and it works. It's that simple. And I ordered one from the interweb that supposedly has the exact same chip in it that his does. It wasn't too expensive, $14, $15, but I thought, well, for that price, it's worth it to experiment, and this may come in handy later on. And why I say that the guy's experience in Australia is bogus is because of this. You can plug a headphone into here using that. Let's see. We've got this set up. Okay, microphone, USB-C. We've plugged that thing into the bottom of the Osmo Pocket, and we're connected. You don't believe that? Record something and play it back, and you'll hear your voice. Well, the problem is, what you're hearing is not what was recorded through this microphone, but what was recorded by the built-in microphones on your camera. An easy way to test that is to do like I did. Plug one of these cables, if you have one around, plug it into the USB, plug a microphone in, and start recording. And talk in a low voice like this. One thing I discovered is you can really talk in a whisper like this. And this microphone, in some circumstances, can be very sensitive. I'm talking about the built-in microphone. So anyway, let's get back to the point. Plug this thing in, you're recording, you go, hey, it recorded, I hear me. Well, what you're hearing, again, is the built-in microphones, because they are not disconnected when you plug this into the USB cable. We're used to the experience, you take a standard headphone jack, looks like that. If we have something with speakers and we plug this in, it disconnects the speakers. So that's not happening here. And a way to verify that real easily is to, quote, record something using this microphone. And while you're recording, just tap on the microphone. If this microphone is in fact being recorded, that little tap will come through like lightning when you play the thing back. Well, it isn't doing that right now. And in fact, let's plug this thing in and I'll do a little recording and let's see what happens. Okay, so I've plugged the microphone into the USB adapter cable. That is plugged into the Osmo Pocket. I'm recording, and you're hearing me, aren't you? Yeah, you are. But again, it's not coming through this. You hear any loud clangs when I do that? If you have a microphone plugged in with a metal case like this, and you tap the thing, it makes a big noise. Let's hit it real hard so the built-in mics can pick it up. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, what do we think? Is it working? Nah. Now, this is not to say that maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe you need a powered microphone to make this thing work. But my gut feeling is that they've not installed any firmware yet, any software that will make this kind of setup possible. I think they'll wait for that when they come out with their little adapter, whatever it happens to be. And maybe once they come out with their own adapter and they change the firmware, then maybe we can take our own microphones and plug them into our own little cheapo cable. I don't know why I'm holding this thing. It's not working. I thought I was done shooting footage for this little video, but as I was editing it, when I got to the second part, I realized there was a very distinctive electronic noise going on there. Now, this was shot in 2 pieces, and where I switched was where I plugged in the USB-C cable into the bottom. So the first half of the video was recorded using the built-in mics of the Osmo, and the second half was recorded with the built-in mics again, but I also had this alleged microphone adaptation plugged in. So does having this plugged in induce noise? Well, apparently, but let's test it out here. What I'm going to do is just pause for a moment and be silent and not say anything. Anyway, let's do a little silence here, and then I'll do silence with the USB cable plugged in and see if that picks up the electronic noise. It'll also be interesting to hear what the room ambiance is like in here. It's a pretty hard surface area. Okay, let's plug in the USB-C adapter. See if I can do this while everything is still running. Okay, USB adapter is now plugged in, and the Rode microphone is plugged into that. So I'm going to duplicate the conditions of when I was shooting the last part of that video. I was holding this in my hand most of the time, and we're recording again with the built-in microphones, which, as we learned, is the only way you can record. So let me shut up for a moment. Let's see what kind of noise we hear on this connection. Rusty Bob over and out.